Hello, Steve Elfrink from OmTerra. I'm going to be talking about psilocybin and basically, is psilocybin right for me? So this is unscripted, totally off the cuff, just a riff on my thoughts around psilocybin, which will probably be a little different if you've talked to other practitioners, looked at other websites, been reading in the media all about psilocybin. I'm going to be offering maybe a little different perspective than what you've heard before. So the most important thing for me, just right off the bat around psilocybin, is expectations. So really framing this around the expectation of openness of the experience. So there's a lot of hype in the media, back to the media again, around, Bob went to wherever and did a single dose of psilocybin and his life was changed. His depression's gone, but this miraculous cure. Can that happen? Yes. Sometimes it can happen. But sometimes, like someone like Bob, you read about him in the newspaper, he had this great experience, 6 months later, stuff can start coming back. So one thing, as far as expectations, is just knowing, or letting in this fact that your experience is going to be your experience. And it can be from anywhere from a non-response, so almost minimal effect, to very challenging, where you're looping in something, looping in thoughts, looping in really challenging places, moving through very challenging places, deep emotions, tears, grief, sadness. I mean, that, for me, that's all good. I mean, that's not a bad trip. That's just good. You're moving stuff out, but it can be very challenging. And it can be just pure bliss in these mystical unity consciousness place. But it's really important to know, especially for folks coming across country. That's right. I mean, for me, the greatest caution is someone who's taking the time, energy, and also someone who's been desperate and looking for this is the answer. Maybe it's not the answer, but it's the key here is who knows what that experience is going to be like. But the biggest thing is, even if there's not a big effect from it, or the effect you're looking at, it's going to start to get you on the path. And health and wellness, especially with mental health, it's a process, it's a journey. This is just one part of it. Psilocybin is one tool of many. So to set expectations that this is going to be my cure, this is going to be the thing, if that's your expectation, you're also setting yourself up for disappointment. A lot of folks who are struggling with some different mental health issues, nothing has worked. And that's part of the frustration and part of this, really strong drive to try this. This might not work also. But what's important, not to take that information and just spiral down with it, which I know is tough to do. But the more you can set the expectation of, I'm going to give this a shot and see where it goes. That's probably the best expectation. And also knowing that this is just one step on that path to get through that forest of whatever you're dealing with. And it can be a big step. It can be a life-changing step, but it's not going to be the only step. It's going to be many steps sometimes. And also, I highly recommend, it's kind of an adjunct to everything I'm talking about here, the need for emotional support, integration, community, and also even some other form of, adjunct therapy. Again, really, if you're looking at this from a mental health perspective, to be in therapy, highly recommend IFS is probably the best adjunct, the best, co-facilitation with the psychedelic experiences, internal family systems, or IFS. Much better than cognitive behavior therapy as far as aligning with psychedelics. So who do I think is kind of the best fit for psychedelics, or specifically for psilocybin? For me, I think, probably the best, I was going to go somewhere else, but probably the best is someone who's looking for a reset, a reboot, someone who's curious about this medicine, they want to try it in a therapeutic, not necessarily therapeutic, but a guided professional setting. So that is a good fit. Again, the betterment for well people, or if there's kind of low levels of anxiety, low levels of depression, but for more complex, especially complex PTSD, treatment-resistant depression, really intense anxiety, any level of dissociation, I really recommend the other model I work with, which is more of a somatic approach, and I've got another video that goes deeper into that. But it's a little bit of a slower approach. It starts working with body first. The foundation of your existence is body. And as for folks, anyone with trauma is held in body. Insight will not heal trauma. And psilocybin is really an insight model. So it really just provides insight, downloads, reframing, again, back to that mystical experience, but it's all kind of head and spiritual, head and up. And then a somatic approach or body approach will be more body focused, again, where trauma is held. And the other thing is, if there's complex PTSD, I really do not recommend psilocybin. I know some folks who are working with it, some folks will 100% take you on as a complex PTSD client. I would not. If there's a single event, yes, probably, and it depends on the age when that happened. But the complexity of complex PTSD just makes it inherently not a tougher or anything. It's just there's more there. There's more complexities. There's more to unravel. There's attachment wounds. There's so much that's going on from that young child that's still affecting you today. So let me just kind of wrap this up. So I provide psilocybin, I provide it cautiously. I'm pretty tight on the screening. I turn a lot of people away that I don't feel are right fit for it. And part of it, I don't want someone to fly out, again, across country for a single experience that may provide, may not provide. It depends on where that person is. Again, betterment of well person or well people, mystical experience. I mean, there's so much beautiful potential in psilocybin, but it's got to be the right fit. So something to consider, something to process on your own. And I'm happy to talk to anyone about this. Like, is this the right fit? What do you think? Happy to have that conversation. So just reach out through the website contact page, and happy to get on a call. Well, hopefully this was a bit rambling, but hopefully helpful at some level. So have a beautiful day and take care out there. Stay safe.